3, 2, 1, boom. What's up, champions? Coach Rael here with Getting Real with Rael, where we get raw and real on my podcast. I'm really excited about our guest today. I'm going to introduce him in a second. Before I do that, once again, my name is Coach Rael, and I'll help entrepreneurs to take action on their health and video marketing so they can stay healthy and share their story and brand to the world via social media and make a difference. And because they make a difference, they get paid a lot. So make sure you subscribe to my podcast. You can find me at my website. I do a free call. We get together on a Zoom. I'd love to hear about your goals, your passions, your vision, come up for a plan of attack to help you to do it. Best case, you'll walk away with some nuggets right there that you can put into action today, and that is www.raelandrews.com. So with that said, I want to bring out today's guest. I am so excited. I met Tanner Laycock. Okay, so we had fun with his name. So okay, you probably heard like me, right, Tanner? Rael, I've heard. Are you real? Are you the real deal? Are you for real? You know, and they say, oh, you never heard that one, right? You've probably heard it all, right?
Absolutely.
So Tanner is a champion. I met him a couple weeks ago at Only 4 Days, an amazing event with Susan Sly. He was there with his mentor, Dennis Yu, and he works at Blitzmetrics, and he's in charge of, what is your exact title over there again, Tanner?
It's the Director of Personal Branding.
Personal branding, exactly. And we're going to hear some Tanner, he doesn't know it yet, but he's going to give you some amazing nuggets today on how to brand yourself as an entrepreneur. But, you know, one of the things, the reason I do this podcast is because we all have a store, or I like to say people know your glory, but they don't necessarily know your story, right? And so that's why I call it raw and real. So let's just jump right in there, Tanner, because tell us a bit about Tanner, where you come from, how you got started.
Yeah. So when I was, little, I had a really great life. My dad owned a bunch of real estate. We lived in Salt Lake City. We were skiing all the time. Some things didn't go our way, and we actually had to move back with my grandparents in Texas. And so from then on, I grew up in Texas. I played college football or high school football in Texas, and eventually was blessed enough to get a college football offer. In college, I really went because, I just wanted to play football. I didn't traditionally think that there was too much value in the schooling system. And it was proven to me when I was asked to teach the marketing class at my university. So I was actually teaching the marketing class, and we were going through Dennis Yu's courses, Blitzmetrics courses, and nobody was interested because my teacher had broken English. She could barely teach it herself. And so I actually reached out to Dennis and said, hey, why don't you come out? Why don't you try and get, some of these kids inspired? Because a lot of the stuff that you're talking about is really, really good. I can see because I know marketing. Like, this is really good information and nobody's interested in it. So come out. And so he did. He flew out the next weekend. We had a little 1 hour presentation. He talked to everybody, and then he was like, Tanner, you know you're not getting any value here. Why don't you come with me to a mastermind? And so I went, met Ed Milet, I met Dominic Cruz, I met some of the guys that I always wanted to emulate. And from then on, I've been working at Blitz, and it's been great. I've met so many mentors that I never thought I was going to have a chance to meet, at least not in the next 10 years.
Well, and it's like, it's fast, right? It's been like just maybe over a year, right, Tanner?
Yeah, a little bit over a year.
Now, so I want to, because what I see, what I hear, and what I love, what I admire and respect, I just see action. You just took action, you took action. I love Dennis. Dennis is coming up on my podcast. We're going to be interviewing him. And he just has such a servant heart. It's like, because you don't know Dennis. Dennis is like, dude, the guy's a guru. And he just jumped on a plane. This kid called him. He jumped on a plane. He was basically out there the next day, which says a lot about him. But, let's go back for a second, because you had some challenges, right? You had the dream to have football, which first and foremost, let's keep it real. When you look at Tanner, you're not the typical football build. So how did you deal with that challenge in the first place to even get yourself into the position to get a college offer?
Well, it's kind of interesting because freshman year, I wasn't that small. And I made the varsity football team and I was the starting quarterback. But some things happened. We had some D1 transfers transfer in, and obviously I can't compete with them. They're 6'4", I'm 5'8" on a good day with shoes on.
Uh-huh.
With like much foam. But so I ended up going back down to JV, and they asked me to play quarterback for them. I said, sure. You know, I love football. Let's see how far I can take it. So I worked really hard at quarterback. It really wasn't the position for me, given my height and my stature. And I was really athletic, so I would never throw the ball. I would just run it. And senior year, I knew that I needed to get a scholarship to help out with my financials. You know, we don't have just a crazy amount of money growing up, so anything that I can do to help my family, I can do. And I remember at the start of senior year, my position coach told my dad, he said, you know, Tanner is too small to play Texas 5A football the way it needs to be played. Like, he's too small, that's why he's not starting. And I proved myself week after week, and I think the third week I actually got the starting job. And that week I had to guard a really, really good coveted receiver. He was going to Boise. And that was the turning point. I mean, I actually got playing time, and I demanded that the coach put me in, you know, because I was better than anybody else that was on the field. And it was because of all the hard work that I put in that summer. Every day I increased my body weight from 135 pounds to 175 pounds in 6 months. And it actually ended up letting me get over 35 offers.
Wow, that is insane. Now, so take us through, like, just kind of give us the cliff notes, because I'm always, you know, encouraged by that. And I know a lot of kids, they say they want to do this, and they're basically, for lack of better words, not just kids, everybody. They run their mouth, but they don't want to do. So what did an average day because I love what you just said there. I had the same thing happen to me back in the day. The coach basically told you that, basically in his way, do something else, don't waste your time, you're never going to make it. And that obviously fueled you. So when that fueled you, what was Tanner's basic day look like from the time he got up to the time he went to bed to go about proving himself and to getting to the position where he could start?
So every day during the summer, I would wake up around 5 a.m. I would have a 5-egg omelet. I'd have a protein shake. I would have a glass of orange juice. Then I would go back to bed. 6:30 in the morning, I had probably like a granola bar or some nuts or something like that. And I would go to the gym. And that was my first gym session. I would go from 6:30 to 8. Would get done there. I would have about 2 hours of rest. And then I would pay somebody that was at the level that I wanted to be at. So I paid this NFL athlete to train me how to play cornerback. Because you can work as hard as you want all day, but if you don't have the actual technical skills, you're never gonna have success. Like I could run into a wall 100 times, but unless I have a sledgehammer, it's not going through. So I started working out with him every single day. Running in the heat, it was probably 105 outside some days, and a lot of it was just watching a ton of football tape from the season prior, B, training on the field, and C, training off the field in the gym, and taking care of my body. But there was never a day off, and you can't ever take a day off.
No. Now, you said, you know, I'm not missing anything here, Tanner, I love this. You said that you hired an NFL athlete, but you also said you didn't have a lot of money growing up with your family. Mm-hmm. So where did you go to get that money? So they obviously went to do something like that happen.
So he actually runs a camp. I'm pretty sure he might have changed the name now, but it's called Fast Performance. And I came in and I said, hey, listen, you know, I don't have a lot of money, but I can do your marketing for you. I can do some simple things for you as far as, you know, ranking you on Google searches, because I was the SEO guy back then. I wasn't in digital marketing, I was the SEO guy. And so I actually did get him ranked, and he's like, okay, whatever. I mean, I have group sessions, just come to those and you can come for free.
Wow. So what I love, once again, you see, and I just did a Facebook Live on this today, Tanner. It's like, are you the person who looks at problems, or do you look for the solution? And you are absolutely at 133. You just look for solutions. Anywhere you see an obstacle, you just find a way to make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people see the problem and they think of a solution to address the problem, but they don't realize what the underlying cause is for most of the problem. try and go like a step further than that and see, okay, I'm not big enough. I need to eat more, and I need to be in the gym more. I know that I can work hard enough, but that hard work's only get me so far. Let's find out somebody that can teach me the technical stuff.
And you also see the value, which is big where we are right now. It's like, you know, I'm a coach, you're a coach, but a lot of people, they don't want to take the time. They don't see the value in invest. Like, I'm a coach, but I have coaches. I invest in myself because, like you say, you know, I see the value in having an expert and surrounding myself with people that are better than me. And that's exactly what you did.
Right.
And then, then what happened? You had a challenge, right? You were on your way, and what led you to make that choice? You kind of jumped over it where you searched out Dennis Yu. You were on your way, you had the college offer, and what happened?
So I was in the best physical shape I'd ever been. I'd worked my ass off for probably around close to a year. Well, several years, but really a year was just the grind. And 2 weeks before my first college game, we had an inter-squad scrimmage, and I tweaked my shoulder. I landed on it flat. They said it was probably just a partial tear. So I took a week off, came back, started as a freshman. I was the only freshman that started on the team. My second week, we were playing Teal. And in Teal, it was raining. The receiver ran a slant route that basically turned back out to an out route. And so we're both running, right? I imagine like two cars in an interstate or an intersection running towards each other. I hit him as hard as I could, and he landed on my shoulder. My shoulder completely tore apart. I completely dislocated my shoulder and tore my labrum completely off the bone. So, and if I could play through it, I was going to play through it. But I remember going to the sidelines, and like, you know, I can take a lot of pain, and I wasn't crying because of the pain. I was crying because I thought that my career was going to be over. And so I remember just trying to hold up my arms. And if I could hold up my arms, my stupid arms, then I could go back out on the field. And as much as I tried, I mean, I really couldn't. I really couldn't do it. And so I'd never had a goal that I worked towards the same way that I worked towards football. And the entire reason I went to college was to play football. So I was devastated. I didn't know what I was going to do after that.
What was your mindset right then at that time? What was going on in Tanner's mind? You know, it's like, it reminds me, my original dream was to make the Olympics, 84 Olympics as a sprinter. Tore my hamstring at 13, and it was a similar situation. It was over, dude, because for me, back then, you know, I'm an only child. I come from the other side of the tracks. That was my way out, you know, as probably football was your way out. I had this dream. I was going to go to the Olympics because back then, you know, it was different. You go to the Olympics, you win a gold medal, you get, you know, you get endorsements, you get sponsors, you've made it, you're rich, you know. That's the way it used to be. I don't think it's like that anymore. And that was how I was going to get out and buy a house and have life on my terms and that. And in an instant, it was gone. So what was your thought process?
It was kind of interesting because it was a very brief period where it was, I'm all good, I got hurt, I'm completely lost, and then right then at that moment I was like, okay, time to get going again. You know, there really wasn't a time. I remember sitting in the locker room during halftime with a bag of ice on my shoulder and my sling, and it's like, I'm gonna be back out on this field, just watch. And so I was actually out on the field 2 weeks later. I finished the season with a completely torn shoulder, didn't have surgery until after the season. And that was my immediate goal. I was like, I don't care what happens, like I can play through this pain. Like, maybe not this game, but I can play through this pain. And so I did. But after I had my surgery, I had a lot of free time, and I had to find something else. It was immediately like, what's the next thing? It was never like, okay, I'm lost, I'm gonna sit here. I needed to find the next thing to focus my time on.
And so last thing, I'm just so curious about people. So you don't just wake up and be the beast like Tanner, take action, always turning problems into solutions immediately. That's the kind of mindset that I'm getting from you. So what was for me, you know, I remember my dad left me at 3, my real dad, but you know, I'm grateful for that. You know, I had my dad, who was my dad, my foster dad, but I just consider my real dad. He taught me no such word as CNT. My mom taught me don't dream big. They are instrumental in me being who I am today. What was your childhood look? Was it a good childhood? Was it bad? How was your childhood?
It was really fun because I grew up skiing. I grew up I have a little brother, and originally, it was my mom and my dad. Things didn't work out, and so they got a divorce. And the reason that we moved back from Salt Lake City to Texas is because we went bankrupt, right? So we literally started at zero. We were living at my grandparents' house, and my mom started just an hourly job at Starbucks, and then she got a management job at Starbucks, and then she got a sales job at Cisco, and then a sales job at BP Cashel, and then she moved up, and then she moved up, and she moved up, and she was working her butt off. And that was always the most inspiring thing, because she would be flying all around the country, and she would come home and still hit a hard ass workout, because she used to be a pro rock climber. And I don't know, I just saw her kind of go up throughout to build for me and my brother, and I always thought that was really cool. And then she's actually on disability now. Because she had a bad rock climbing fall, and it messed up her back, and so she had to have a 360 spinal transfusion. There was a doctor that kind of messed up the medications and gave her too many steroid shots, so her adrenal glands failed. Basically like the rise to the top, and to see her not be able to do the things that she wants always inspired me to help, provide for my family and for my brother. So whatever it took. And I agree. You can't just switch, there has to be a turning point in your life. You can decide to have that turning point, but usually it comes from an outside circumstance that you don't really have a control on, that you just either rise or fall to the occasion.
Yeah, absolutely. Now so obviously mom, very important, pivotal in your life. Dad went the other way. Was he part of your life?
Yeah, my dad's great. He's still in my life every day. We have dinner every Monday. I love him for sure. It was just the fact that I was living with my mom most of the time, and then in the summers I would live with my dad. But it was really cool because I got to see, my dad build up this real estate business when I was really young, and that was my first, taste of business. And then since then, he's been doing, like any business you can think of. So I've always been around people that really want to have success. I think that the biggest thing that could have helped them is getting the right mentors, because I don't know that they had any of the mentors that I'm blessed to have. So it was really cool to see that growing up.
Awesome. So your brother, how much younger of you is he?
He's about to turn 17 in a few days, so about almost 4 years.
So what sounds like you have a great relationship. Is he following in your tracks? What's that relationship like, and how does he see you, and how important is he to you, and vice versa?
Yeah, we kind of both have the mindset that we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that my mom can retire. And he'll come to me and he'll ask me questions, because I'm not going to lie, he's not the best at school, right? Like, he can't do the same math that I can do in my head, but where he shines is he's kind of like Albert Einstein. He thinks of things in different ways than I've ever seen anybody do it. And so he created his car detailing business recently. And all he did was he would go around and he would knock on doors, for 6 hours a day until he could get a client and say, hey, let me wash your car for free. If you like it, I'll come back next week. And, just having that 16-year-old kid mentality of starting your first business, that's so cool to watch for me. Because he comes to me and he's like, okay, what can I do better about this? How can I market it better? Like what kind of videos do I need? And it's really cool to be able to help him, because I know that he's kind of following in the same footsteps, just in a different way.
That is phenomenal. I love that. Man, you get me fired. Best memory as a kid?
Best memory as a kid? Whew, that's a tough one. I'm not sure about the best memory, but I know the worst memory when I was growing up.
It's funny, I was going to ask you that next. What's your worst one?
So I played soccer for a few years when I was in, third or fourth grade. I don't remember. But we just got this new kid on our team. I'm pretty sure he's from Kenya. He didn't speak a whole lot of English, but he knew how to play soccer-ish. And so we were kicking out of our own corner, right? And so I was just gently passing him the ball. And immediately he turned around and drilled it right back in my face during the game. And I lost 4 teeth.
What?
Yeah. And I remember I was like, I need a helmet. And that was the entire, I did not want to play football, but I was like, I need a helmet. And so that's the entire reason why I moved over to the pigskin.
You know, you want to hear something crazy? You just reminded me, Tanner. I totally forgot. So I was, what was I? I was in grade, it was between 4 and 7. I was at the private school at the time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, we were walking from the junior school to the senior school going to swim class. And so we had our towels and everything. And I don't know how we came up with this idea, but I wanted to see what it'd be like to be blind. Mm-hmm. So I put a towel over my head and I was crossing the street, and, you know, they were directing me and they said, look out, a car. And I thought they meant a car was driving. Instead of taking the towel off and looking and see what I was doing, I thought they meant a car was driving towards me. So I started to run with the towel on. They meant a car was in front of me, and I went bam right into the car. Same thing. I only lost 1 tooth, but I was like, man, and that hurt, dude. I'll never forget that. All right.
My best memory, I think, I've decided, was senior year, we started out, we were, I think, 3-1, and we were ranked 5th in the state, and I always wanted to go to the playoffs because I never really got to do that. And we were playing the team with the #1 guard and the #1 center in the country, Frisco High School. And it went into double overtime, and we ended up pulling out the victory barely. And it was the first time that me and the guy that I actually went to play college football with, Jacob, had been on the field at the same time, and we took over that game. I can't describe it, but basically I had my job and he had his job, and if we didn't do our jobs, then we were going to lose. And we excelled, and it really felt like we were the reason that we won. We didn't let our team down, and that was a really cool feeling.
You know who you remind me of, Tanner? I think I told you this already. You remind me of Wes Welker, man.
Wes Welker? I think you said that.
Yeah, you remind me of Wes Welker, who we all know is a beast. All right. So switching gears a little bit, and thank you for being honest and vulnerable, because I love that, because people learning things about you they never knew. So, you know, you're a branding expert, and, you know, we share the same passion. I help people to share their brand through video, and it's really important. I mean, it's the most important thing we do. I mean, our story is everything. It's your story is everything. So what would you, 3 tips for the entrepreneurs out there listening to this that are most important when it comes to branding? What would you say the 3 most important things that they should do?
The biggest thing to me, the 3 biggest things is, first, you got to pick out what you want to be known for. And that comes a lot from your personality, what your interests are. Like, if you're not interested in technology, it wouldn't make sense to try and grow a personal brand in technology. It's just not going to work. If you're the kind of motivation guy, then you need to be hanging around other people that speak about motivation or about branding or whatever it is that your topic wants to be about. So first, find out who you are and what you want to be, and then create a topic wheel, right? So in a topic wheel, the middle is you. That's what you're trying to sell, because your personal brand, you're trying to sell your personal brand. The 6 rings around it, so imagine 6 circles around this middle circle, which is you. Those 6 circles are what you're passionate about and what you want to be, have the highest authority in, right? So if you want to have the highest authority in affiliate marketing, you might check out Ed Milet. You know, if you want to be known for motivational speaking, you need to add Gary Vee to that. So it's basically about finding out who you want to be and what topics you want to be passionate about first. Next is, you can't be scared that people aren't going to like you, because people aren't going to like you. Like, that's a fact. You make a video and you think it's good, and some of your friends are like, oh, this is really great knowledge bombs. And this even happens to me. You know, I'll have 45-year-old dudes comment and be like, shut up. What are you talking about? So understand that branding is a sum. It's an average of everything that is being said about you, good and bad. So you're just trying to make more good comments and more of a positive impact on other people's lives than the negative, because everybody's going to have a hater when you're trying to grow a personal brand, because they're like, who's this guy trying to tell me what to do, right? He doesn't have any crazy money. He doesn't have a multi-million-dollar business. So just be trying to help people. And by doing that, you can interview other people, you can tell their stories like we're doing right here. And by doing that, they're gonna be like, wow, Tanner's so nice. Like he interviewed me, he really showed that he cared, he knew what he was talking about. And if you do that, that's gonna be a huge benefit for your personal brand. And then you gotta think of one thing that's gonna be your, kind of like your pinpoint. Like you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? How are people gonna remember you? What's that hook that's going to make people come back time and time again? Because they're going to be like, oh yeah, that's that guy that, you know, wears the orange shoes, or like Chris Tucker, he wears the orange hat. So everybody has a thing in personal branding. It's just what's that thing for you? And it's got to be authentic. You can't just, because then it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
Like Steve Aoki, he's throwing the cake, right? Everybody knows that if you get pied by a cake at a concert, it's probably Steve Aoki.
Right. No, that is good. And I love that thing. It's like, and thank you for that. But you know, it's so true, because, and I try to teach my students, the best thing that you can't fake. People say, well, can I do your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom? I said, well, you can, but it's not really. And the thing is so important, but like you said, it could just be the orange shoes. It could be just all different things. But I literally have people that will say, oh, it's the boom guy, or like they'll walk by and they'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, or whatever, you know. And it just, I didn't plan it, you know. I think with the thing, I think you'd agree, Tanner. It's like, it's almost, if you try to plan it, it's not going to work. It's going to happen.
Yeah, something will stick out about you. Something about your personality or some action that you take is going to stick out, and you will be defined about it. And
I love number 2. I like number 1. What was it? Was it number 2? I think where you say, just knowing that people are, you know, as a matter of fact, just the other day, I don't usually have this, and I know better, but all of a sudden I was doing this Facebook Live, and one person, because it's usually all like, yes, and this one guy said, Jid, why are you so flippin' gay all the time? And I was just like, it like caught me off guard, and I was just like, I was like, well, thank you. I'm happy I'm gay. But it was like, and I know it's, and actually, you know, that negativity, sometimes those are the things that make us go viral. You know, sometimes those haters make us go viral. But I know back in, you know, back in the day when we actually used to get letters on General Hospital, I don't know what they get now. It's been a while since I've been on the set, but back in the day, the fans would actually mail us letters. You know, we'd get thousands of letters, dude, and you'd get these, oh my God, you're awesome, I love you, you're the best actor ever, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then you get one letter, you suck, dude, you are the worst, what are you even doing? You should be fired. And that's all, if you're not like, if you don't have a coach like you to say, it's okay and expect it, because I didn't back then, and that would destroy me, dude. Like forever, that's all I would think about. Forget the 1,000 that I just got, that one, I'd be like, I really suck. Right?
Right.
So
I have a funny thing about that. You know, I forget who wrote it, but the Outraged Economy?
No.
You ever heard of that? So the Outraged Economy is kind of how everything is moving, as far as some of the protests that we have, the anger that we portray on social media. I mean, it's so much easier to be a jerk through a piece of paper or through a screen, right? And the Outraged Economy basically says that, you know, when people get mad about a certain topic, it actually helps that topic become more valuable. Because, for example, we had a guy that worked in the company, he had a pit bull that attacked him, right? And it attacked his dog. And instead of promoting it to the people that love pit bulls, he promoted it to the people that hate pit bulls. And that story was on the news. And so because we ran ads towards people that hated pit bulls, everybody's like, oh, pit bulls are stupid. Like, you should have put that dog down, you know? And like, I love pit bulls. Like, I think the dude did too. So, but we did it to prove a point. The point is, people will comment 10 times more if they're mad about something than if they're happy about something. If you have a bad experience at a restaurant, you're gonna tell 10 people, right? If you have a good one, you might tell your best friend. Be like, oh, come here next time. But if they're mad, you're telling everybody how dirty they did you.
That's true, man. That's brilliant. Okay, fun time now. So we have some fun questions. Oh, no. Before we do that, the worst thing, biggest mistake that entrepreneurs do Just one biggest mistake you see entrepreneurs doing when they go to creating their brand.
Is this a brand new entrepreneur or is this a veteran entrepreneur? Because there's two.
Well, let's do both because we'll have both listening. Okay, so the brand new one first.
So the brand new one, the most common thing that I see for like people my age is what I'm kind of trying to preach on is so many people see and I actually made a video about this today. So many people see the lifestyle that the guys that we want to emulate have, right? Everybody on Instagram appears to have the private jet life, appears to have Lamborghinis, and in reality, they're probably renting them. But they see the end result. And when you're building your personal brand, you can't be in business for money. Like money can be a side effect, but really it should be about helping people or helping this one cause or whatever your passion is. It can't be about money because the money will never come if you do that. And I think you would agree.
Yeah.
And so when you're building your personal brand, if you genuinely care about your mission, it's going to help you grow your brand 10 times quicker than if you're about money, because people are going to be able to see that greed in your message, right?
Yeah.
The thing for people that already have an existing personal brand, make freaking videos. I know you know this, but you have to make videos because the first 50 that you make are going to suck. All you need is your iPhone. Like you can use this, just put it on selfie, take a 1 minute video, right? So from there, you're making all these 1 minute videos. The first 50 are going to suck, but after those first 50, you're going to get really, really good. And what happens is people think that they're having a relationship with you. They feel like they're sitting down at the table with you eating dinner instead of, this high budget ad that they make with a ton of ad spend and a huge video production team. That doesn't seem authentic. It can't get much more authentic than Susan last weekend taking a video of Dennis and putting it on her Facebook, right? Just like right there on the spot. So just make content. That's the biggest thing. If you already have an existing brand and you want to multiply it, make content.
That, you know what, and that's so true, because, Tanner, I'm like, that's what I do. So I have the cool backgrounds and things. And when I first met Dennis the first time, and, I heard the concept of the 1 minute video and stuff like that. Well, I took the concept because I'm very coachable, but I immediately took these 1 minute videos. And then I wanted to go home, I wanted to edit it, I wanted to have a nice intro and a nice outro, and I made it all real professional. And, they did it really and then when I saw you guys the second time, and as you know, just like you said, I didn't have no intro, I didn't have no outro, it was just raw. And I was just looking just yesterday, because some of those 1 minute videos are, oh my God, because you said 56, right? We're looking for 56 playthroughs or something, right? Is the metrics that you're kind of looking for, right? The one I did with Susan was 1,300 yesterday. Yours and mine is like right there around 1,000. And it's like, different videos that I did with Brandon and different people. And they were just, like you say, totally raw. Totally raw. And it's crazy, man.
Yeah, people like to see that. And I'm like, honestly, the only reason I can give you is because they want to see that authenticity piece, but it's crazy because other people that are growing their personal brands. I mean, imagine how much Grant Cardone has spent on growing his personal, or Ty Lopez. But now he knows that the best producing videos are the ones that he's just sitting in his house, with his daughter, because people want to see that. They want to see that he's a family guy and that he has, a team, and just want to see his adventures with his wife. And that's something that you can't really get prior to the social media explosion.
Yeah. Okay. Who's your favorite superhero?
I just saw Endgame. That was really good. I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it, but it was good.
My son, who never cries, 17, he said him and all his friends were bawling in it.
In Endgame?
Yeah.
I actually saw it with one of our clients that's helping us do. We're doing a bunch of veteran stuff, right? And we saw it with him. And it was the funniest thing because this girl at the very end of the movie just stood up and she was crying. She's like, I just can't do this anymore, and screamed and ran out. Because it really was. I was tearing up too. I was like, but I was sitting next to a Marine, and so I was like, I had to tighten up.
So who's your favorite?
It's gotta be Superman.
Superman? Awesome. Now, if you were a superhero, what would be your superpower and why, and how would you make a difference in the world with it?
Okay, so it's probably not one that anybody is too familiar with, but it's the idea of creating a shadow clone. Okay, so imagine that you can produce 100 of yourself, and as soon as they go away, you get all the experience that they've learned.
Wow.
So imagine how quickly you could learn material if you had 100 of you, right? Or 1,000 of you. Imagine how good you could get and how good you could, or how big of an impact you could create on the world if you could just spread your message at 1,000 times what you're already currently doing. Imagine going to the store and checking out to yourself. Like, I think that'd be a wild thing. I don't know.
That's insane. That's probably that, and the best I've heard so far is what was it? That one is that's awesome. And then I heard laughter is the best one I've heard so far on my podcast. Okay, last two questions. Favorite book?
Okay.
Couple books. What's your favorite book you mentioned?
I'm number 4. So I love a bunch of self-improvement books. Don't get me wrong, but you know, I'm that nerdy little kid sometimes that wants to read a crazy story, and I'm number 4 is a story about people who are hunted just because of who they are, in a nutshell.
And I've never heard of that, so I love that. That's why I asked it. Is this also a book right here, Tanner, The Outraged Economy?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, your most influential, at this point in your journey, the most influential mentor in your life?
Oh, absolutely, Dennis. Dennis, I mean, it's really cool to be able to meet the mentors that I have, but it wouldn't be possible without him. You know, and he's invested so much into me to be able to do the things that I do, that nobody else really gets to see. You know, it's kind of behind the scenes. So, I mean, just the fact that he flew out to meet me and invited me, and he, you know, paid for my ticket to come out, like, it was such a great experience. And I would never in a million years, because what value could I add to Ed Milet's life, right? Dude's worth $750 million or something stupid. Like, what value can I add? I can't. And it's only because of Dennis giving me training and authority and making me, you know, other connections that I'm able to do some of the stuff that I'm just beginning to do. You know, this isn't the end for me, but without him, I really wouldn't be able to do much. Yeah,
100%. I agree, man. So with that said, because I am going to be interviewing Dennis on my podcast. So, okay. So what is something about Dennis that nobody knows that you like? Give us, because Dennis not going to tell me everything. So tell us, it could be it doesn't have to be bad. Like, it could be a great thing, a good thing. But what's something about in the time that you've got to know Dennis that nobody would know, or Dennis wouldn't, because he's very humble. So he's not going to speak about himself like that. What would you?
I can give you a question that you can ask him.
Okay.
I have never seen anybody give him a math question that he couldn't beat the other person in. Oh. If you can give him a math question that would stump him, that would be really impressive. Other than that, I mean, Dennis is pretty open. It's about as open as a person can get. I mean, sorry about that.
That's all right, man.
Even now, like, I have access to all of his pictures on his phone. Like, I can see everything, you know, and that's a huge trust factor, right? But that's how open he is. So one thing that you may not know is Dennis never drinks. So Dennis actually I've never seen him touch any type of alcohol. I mean, he'll have clients ask him for if he wants a beer, and he'll be like, yeah, and then he'll just sit on the table and he won't drink it. And so I'm like, all right, I'll drink it, Dennis. So it's something different that you might not expect.
Well, I'll have to rely on my middle son, Nathan, because he's the genius in the house. So I'll have to try to come up with a question to stump him. But this, man, Tanner, I can't thank you enough. This has been amazing. Before I bring it to a close, so how do people get in touch with you? Entrepreneurs listening, they need to have help with their branding. How can they find you? Where can they find you?
So the best 2 ways is going to be through Facebook and Instagram, because that's where I'm spending most of my time anyways with a lot of my clients. My Instagram is Tanner Laycock. So just my name, TANNERLAYCOCK, not playcock or halfcock or whatever. And then my Facebook one is Tanner Blitz. So BLITZ. That's the best way. And I'm always available. If you have a question and it's not going to take up too much of my time to answer it, I'm going to help you out. Like, so if anybody that's watching this or listening to this has a question, feel free. You know, I'll give you as much advice as I can.
Well, you guys heard it there, and here's what I can tell you. When a champion says they will make time for you, and I know Tanner personally, I've gotten to know him really quickly over the past couple of weeks. He is a man of his word. It's amazing to me when people will come up and say, hey, you know, reach out to me, I'll be happy to help you. But our instinct is to just say, wow, they're just saying that. Tanner's not just saying that. So before, and it's happening right now as we're speaking, you know, as good of a heart as he has, he only one of him, and you know, he liked to clone himself. So before he blows up too big and you can't even get him, you know, definitely take advantage, reach out to him if you got a question, and he'll be there for you. So with that said, champions, once again, it's Coach Rael here. I'm Getting Real with Rael. It's been an amazing podcast. I help entrepreneurs to take action with their health and video marketing so that they can share their story and brand to the world through social media and make a difference. Because they make a difference, they get paid a lot. So if that's you, you can contact me at www.railandrews.com. I'd love to sit down and chat with you. Like Tanner, it's absolutely free. Best case scenario, you'll walk away with some nuggets that you can put into action today to help you with that. Make sure you subscribe to my podcast so you don't miss any of these amazing champions that are coming on here. I mean, the nuggets you laid on us today, Tanner, are just gold, man. I mean, here, let's do this, Tanner. Take both hands like this, right there you go, and go. That's a double mic drop right there. I love that. Okay. So anyways, with that said, guys, I'll believe in you. You believe in yourself. Make the rest of the day the best of the day. God bless. Boom.